Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. In this video we are going to learn about miscellaneous group. So here you can see that we have learned surface group and we have only explored this material tool, and we didn't explore UV mapping tool because it is most important tool, UV tool. So I was thinking about covering this tool in the last of all the specific tools. So now we will just simply learn about this last tool, which is miscellaneous tool. So first of all, we have this new Umodeler tool. So we can click here and you can see that another object is created under Umodeler object. So this is a separate tool. So in this way you can click here, or you can click here as well, so it will act same. And the shortcut is I think shift M is the shift control M is the shortcut key for creating a new object at any time. Okay, after that we have the tool name as the mesh transformation tool, bake transformation tool. And the thing is that, for example, we have created some object here. Let's suppose this cube like this. So if after selection we will click on this tool, you can see that we have these options: bake all, bake position, bake rotation, and bake scale. So what it will do, that it will make its scale 1 1 1, rotation 1 1 1, and position 1 1 1. And if we click on bake all, it will make its the current scale of the object will be 1 1 1. Okay, so this is the 1 1 1 scale actually in the Umodeler concept. So this is the base scale, and if we make this cube bigger, it will be act as a the scale will be changing according to that main basic scale. Okay, so that is also useful in certain cases. And then we have this collider tool. So if you have any object, and for example you can see that we have mesh collider by default on this cube, and if for example we don't have any mesh collider for any specific tool, you can click at this object and it will sorry, it should create a mesh collider for this object. Okay, here you can see add collider, and then we can click on add collider, and you can see that we have a collider for this object. We can make it convex, we can make it trigger as well if you want to do so. So the next tool is this group tool and the polygon group tool. So what it will do, so for example if we have a object, so let's create a, for example, a loop here. So let's create a loop. Where is the loop slice tool? And if we okay sorry, I don't know why it's okay. So here you can see that we have a loop, and we can select this edge, and let's make it like this. So let's assume that this is a room, for example, and we have a roof for this room and the walls, etc. So what we can do, we can simply select the polygons, and for example let's select this polygon and this polygon, and we can group these polygons by clicking this, and then we can name that group. So for example this is a roof, so let's select the roof and click add group. Okay, so now roof is created, and if we for this this is a, for example, the main door area, so we can just click here, we can select the polygons and we can name it door, and we can click on door. So in this way we can separate actually the different sections, different polygons of a main object into different groups. Okay, so this is also very nice, useful tool. After that, we have this export tool. So for example, we have any object, we can want to export it as a obj object. We can click here, and you can see that we have the options of create a folder. We have option of export material if you have any materials. Export vertex colors, you can enable this, but it's not very much compatible with all the 3D modeling software, so it's not recommended. Optimize UV is important, so repetition will be not occur if we enable this. So it is also a nice selection. Then we have option for meter, centimeter and millimeter. We can export our model in these units. We can export our model in polygon, quads and triangles. And then simply we can also export our model to prefab if you want to do so, but and bake as prefab is also here, but for now we will just click on export to OBJ. And okay, let's go to desktop and let's save it on the desktop, no issue. On the desktop you can see that this folder is created automatically with the material file. Unfortunately the material file is empty, and this object file. Okay, so and the material as well, you can see. So we can definitely use this. You can see the 2 KB size is there for this object, and we can just move it back, and then we can utilize it as a object file. Okay, so you can see that it's a very nice Umodeler tool which in which you can create your objects. You can actually export your objects for different softwares as well, not only Unity, but for the Unreal Engine, for the Blender and other softwares as well. So that's great. After that, we have this tool for refresh object tool, and shift control R is this tool. We can the objects in the current scene will be selected and refreshes, and this doesn't change or remove any data, and it might resolve a broken mesh issue or a light map problems. So in our case, our mesh is not too much complicated, but you can click on this and you can see that you don't have any issue with this mesh. Otherwise, if you have issues, you will see some details here. And then we have the polygon diagnosis tool, which can diagnose the Umodeler mesh. Okay, so it will just diagnose the mesh, and it will show you that whether your mesh has a broken vertices or duplicate vertices or light map problems, etc. So you will click it, and then you can invalid polygons or select overlapped polygons, etc. In our case, our mesh is very simple. So if you want to analyze, you can simply select the polygons, for example, like this, and then you can press on this diagnosis tool. Okay, so it's also very helpful. After that, we have this tool for the local settings tool, set up local variables. So if we click on this setting tool, you can see that we have recalculate tangents, don't save in build, invisible in play mode. Okay, so if you will click here, the polygons will be invisible in the play mode. Light map static, if you will enable it, so it will be a static object, and light mapping will work absolutely great. And then we can click on back face. Usually you can see whenever you will create an object, it don't have the back faces. Okay, you can see when we are here, we don't have any back face. So if you enable this, you can see that this object has back faces as well. So this is also very important tool. And then after that, we have generate UV2 channel for light mappings as well. So definitely we will practical see these things, these settings in upcoming videos. In next video we will explore the most important tool, UV tool.